Hallelujah. Church, this is a very special day because we have with us the Positive Action team, and the two leaders of the team have just told me now they've actually got some more people who are going to be telling us amazing. It's such an amazing opportunity to have them here today to talk to us about the police force and the different routes and a lot of things that we take for granted, but there could be great opportunities for us here. I've been volunteering with Northumbria Police for almost 10 years now. And I want to tell you that it's a huge organization. There are lots of opportunities that are within that organization. And if we are not engaging, then, we are missing out. And I'm hoping today that when you meet this lovely team, I met Rena and Sultan a couple of days ago, and we just kicked it off like that. It's like we've known each other for several years. I'm trusting and hoping that from this engagement, we will have a lot more understanding of the different areas in policing that we will find attractive and interesting. The police in this country is a bit different from perhaps many of the countries we have come from. I can assure you that in the short time I've been volunteering, there's been lots of training, lots of training opportunities. So I won't say too much. I think Sultan is here, or Rena, who is going to. Can you introduce the team, please? Rena, please let's put our hands together and welcome Rena Chopra.
Hello, everyone, and I'd like to start by saying thank you very much to Dr. Peter Adegby for inviting us here today. We feel honoured that we're able to come here and talk to yourselves about Northumbria Police. I'm hoping you can hear me clearly. Oh, that's better. And we're really here to talk about what Northumbria Police means to us. You can see us all here today, standing in front of you. Now, your image of policing may be different, what you see out there, the faces of Northumbria Police, but we're here to show you that we are moving with the times now. Northumbria Police understands that we need to be reflective of our communities. We want to reach out to everyone from underrepresented groups, from diverse backgrounds, and talk about policing and why you should join policing as our family and the various roles that are available to you. So I'm going to start off by introducing myself. My name's Rena Chopra, and I'm a Positive Action Advisor. I'm a police staff member, so I'm not a police officer. I can't arrest anyone here today, hopefully not. But my role is within the Diversity, and Equality and Inclusion Department. So we've heavily invested in that recently. My role is to reach out to people from underrepresented groups and get them to consider Northumbria Police as an employer of choice. To break down those barriers and dispel any myths that people may have around policing. With me today, I have a whole host of officers here for you today, and you'll see the mix and breadth of, staff and officers that we have in Northumbria. So I'm going to hand them over one by one. I'll start with Sergeant Sultan Mia, who's my sergeant in Positive Action. So I'll start with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. So as Rena's mentioned, I'm Sultan. I'm a sergeant in the Positive Action team. The one thing that I will say is, so for example, I've been a police officer for 13 years, and it's one of those jobs where I've grew into it. I've learned loads about myself, but also my communities and the communities within Northumbria. And the key thing that I want to say about, Northumbria Police is Northumbria Police is your police service, and we all have a responsibility to make Northumbria Police better, and be part of it. So it's Northumbria Police is not a, it's not a different or separate entity from anyone else. So I hope you find this event useful, and please don't be afraid to ask us any questions. Sorry?
Not that we know of. Good morning. I'm Adil Mohammed. I'm a police officer and currently in the Peace Day programme under a 3-year probation. And like my sergeant said, if you've got any questions throughout the event, just ask me and I'll be more obliged to answer them.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Saeed. I'm doing the PCDA programme within policing. It's been about approximately 3 years I've been in the force, and honestly, it's just one of the best things that I've done. Like my colleague said, if you've got any question, please feel free to ask us. We're more than happy to help.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for having us. Excuse me. My name's Umar Hanif, and I am a special constable. So the slight difference between me and my colleagues here is, although I am a fully warranted police officer, I do this voluntarily. So I still have the pleasure of flying about and with blue lights on, dealing with all the same incidents and wearing the same uniform and full policing powers, but I've got a full-time job elsewhere, and I fit in the shift around my existing commitment. So the benefits of that is people like yourselves may well be interested in joining the police, but you may not want to make that full-time commitment yet, in which case I would strongly urge you to explore the route of Special Constable, and I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with anybody here today after the event or during the event to tell you a little bit more about what we do. Thank you.
Hello there, my name is Don Handledge. I'm currently working at Eater Lane in the West End. I work on the 24/7 team there, so that's response. So you'll have probably seen us about in those blue pandas, blasting lights and whatnot going around. But at the moment, the reason I'm here with the Positive Action team is just to help discuss and break down some of those barriers that you guys might have, preconceived ideas and things like that that you'll have of the police. As you can see, it's a very wide organisation, very different and diverse. I'm hoping to have a few conversations with you and just see what your opinions are, what your thoughts are, and potentially break down some of those barriers.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name's Alan Deans. I'm Sergeant and I work in Newcastle CID. I've been a police officer for 17 years, done response, and obviously been a detective now for a couple of years now and doing it. The important thing today is speaking with us. But if you don't wish to speak to us, people don't want to pass any questions, but we are here to answer any questions, good or bad, which is the point. But no, I'll pass it back over.
Great. Well, there you go. You've seen our team here today, and they've given up their time to come today because they're passionate about reaching out to the communities, engaging with yourselves, and as we said, breaking down those barriers. Up on the screen, you can see Northumbria Police, what our purpose is. So, as an organisation, yes, we're here to keep people safe, and we fight crime. But around that, what's our vision? We want to deliver an outstanding service to our communities. But in order to do that, we need to be able to engage with our communities better. We need to understand our communities. We need to understand their needs. And every community has different needs. So which is why we want to bring in people from different backgrounds into the organisation. So whether that's as police officers, police staff, or as you've seen, we've got various voluntary roles that you can do as a special constable. But who do we want in the organisation? We want you if you share the same values as us. And what values are they? You can see there, Northumbria Police, we're a determined organisation. We're determined, I can't even read that, I'll need my glasses. We're determined and we're supportive. We create an inclusive culture. We want to accept people in the organisation for who they are. We want those who are passionate about protecting the communities and passionate about fighting crime. We want you to be dynamic and proud. I mean, everyone here standing with us today, we're proud of what we do in Northumbria Police, and we're proud to represent Northumbria Police. So today is not just about looking at recruiting those in the organisation, but today's event is for you, your opportunity to ask any questions about Northumbria Police, about joining the police, and what your sort of thoughts are, any questions that you have in your head about becoming a police officer, why you would join, why you wouldn't join, and we're here to help you break down those barriers. One of the key things we have in Northumbria Police when you join is our staff associations. So an example of what we're doing in Northumbria to create an inclusive culture is have support associations in place for those from different backgrounds, for those who have certain needs or from different protected characteristics. So you can see there we have our Ethnic Minority Association to support those from the ethnic minority backgrounds. We have our Disability and Carers Association, the LGBT Association. These are just a few to name, and I'm sure we have been increasing a few more in recent weeks as well. In terms of the roles that we have, you've seen here today that we do have our police constables with us. So we've got Saeed and Adil and Don, who are on the police constable degree apprenticeship. So this is one of the entry routes into policing. To become a police officer now, you either need to have a degree or you work towards a degree. So it's changed slightly from the past. And it's a great opportunity for those who are considering career choices, whether they want to go away to university and do a 3-year degree and end up in debt, or they could come and join us, do our police constable degree, and they get paid at the same time for doing it. However, those who hold a degree can also come through on our degree holder entry programme. We also have opportunities to become a detective. We're currently recruiting for graduate detectives. So if you hold a degree, you can come through as a graduate detective through the organisation. Special constable, you don't need a degree for that, but that's something you do voluntarily. So you can continue to do your full-time work, and you can come and join us, work on part-time hours. This is what Umar does that. Weekend work, I think, evening works. He can pick and choose his hours. And then obviously we have various police staff roles, 500 or more from what I'm aware. So, I mean, I could stand here all day talking about the different functions, but Northumbria Police is supported by many departments. For example, the legal department, finance, HR, all your traditional support functions that people wouldn't normally consider in policing. They're there. You don't have to come in as a police officer. There's many opportunities to work for Northumbria Police. And it's just a case of looking on the website and seeing what's there for you. But as I said, working for the Positive Action team, I'm here to speak to those on an individual level if they want some more advice, if they've got specific concerns or certain jobs that appeal to them. You can come and speak to us. It's not just about looking on the website. We prefer you to speak to us and talk to us what interests you in policing. So I've mentioned the entry routes. I'll not go into that into too much detail today and the process that's involved. But what kind of skills are we looking for when you join as a police officer? So you can see there, communication is a key skill, problem solving, team working, leadership, organisational skills, being calm under pressure, and resilience. And my officers standing here today will tell you that these are integral, but probably one of the most important ones is communication. You know, your communication skills are probably the most important things that you're going to use when you come and join Northumbria Police. So it's having a good think about what these skills are if you're interested in joining us. The opportunities that are available to you, they vary. Our starting salary for a police officer currently is $24,700, and that increases to $41,700 over 7 years, and that's just for you turning up at the job. There's lateral moves, if you want to develop into different areas, you can do. And we've also got an internal detective route, so if you join us as a police officer, you can join as a detective internally as well. You've also got the opportunity to join, work your way up the ranks, so you can go through a PC to a sergeant to an inspector, and we've got a fast-track program as well. So the opportunities for career progression are endless within the organisation, and we are here to support you if that's what interested you. So the benefits of joining Northumbria Police, other than working with wonderful people like ourselves here today, we do provide a competitive pension. You get a debt-free degree, and I think this is the biggest selling factor within Northumbria at the moment, and across all police forces, that we now introduce a police constable degree apprenticeship where you can come and study with us, train to be a police officer, and get paid for it rather than end up being in debt. We mentioned salary progression, we've mentioned the sports and social club, various clubs that you can join within Northumbria, as well as a blue light card, lots of discounts as well. So the benefits of working with us are endless, but what I'm going to do today now is, I'm not sure where Dr. Degby's gone, oh, there he is there. Whether you want us to break out into smaller groups and give everyone the opportunity to speak to our officers if they have got any sort of questions they want to ask.
Lunch will be served now, so I think we'll bring out the tables so we can sit around in tables. How many groups do you want us to?
Well, we can also take
Seven groups.
Yeah, 7 groups.
So people can move.
Yeah.
Okay. So, please let's put our hands together for the positive action team. You can see there are quite unique opportunities within the Northumbria Police.
What I'll do is I'll play that in the background.
But what we are going to do now, food is going to be served, but we're going to break out into 7 tables, and so we can move from one table to another.
That's the way I would normally do it.
Do you have any general questions before we do that? General questions? Okay. I have a few questions, just general, and then we will break into the tables, and then we'll be able to meet people individually. Okay.
Thank you so much for the excellent presentation. And I'm really pleased to see the diversity both in personnel and the roles. And I think that the opportunities that you have shared are really exciting. I just wanted to check if Northumbria Police is a licensed sponsor. And the reason I ask that is that I think there are lots of talents and people who might meet the profile that you're looking for, but may not necessarily at this time have a right of residency. So they are immigrant students, and the question is if they are able to take advantage of these opportunities.
Okay. About the students. Yep, sure. And we're here to ask, if you want to ask any questions.
Okay. I had 2. Fortunately, he already asked 1. But the second I was going to ask is, one of the roles you mentioned was the special constable role, which you possibly can do part-time while you go about every other business. So possibly, if you could possibly shed more light on the requirements for that. Because like he rightly said, quite a number of persons here are postgraduate students, some in Sunderland, some... I came from Newcastle, I school in Northumbria.
Right.
You know, I live just opposite the police station, you know, but so what are the requirements? Is it possible for postgraduate students or students who are possibly people doing their degrees or whatever to join that? Or is it possible for immigrant students who do not also have right of residency, like he also mentioned, you know, to also join the program? So it would be nice if you could, you know, shed a bit more light on that.
Okay, yeah, so to answer your question, I think I heard correctly, in terms of our criteria for you to join any of our roles in the Northumbria Police, the biggest is a residency, so I understand that we've got a great student immigration population within the Northeast. At the moment, our criteria and our vetting requirements are for you to have permanent residency in the UK or a visa without any restrictions, so not one that you would renew, but it would have to be a visa, for example, indefinite leave to remain. and we require you to have lived here for 3 years as well, because our background checks are quite thorough, as you can imagine. So the vetting would need to go back 3 years. So at the moment, in terms of international students, there is a little bit of limitation in terms of applying to us. But when you get to your sort of 2 years towards your 3 years, and if you think you can get your visa, then there's nothing stopping you. But this is a national issue. It's not just Northumbria. It's across all UK forces. Their vetting requirements are for you to be a UK resident and have your 3 years residency within the UK. And I think he has some questions around being a special constable. Umar, I don't know if you want to give a bit more information about that? Huh? He's asking about the role of the special constable.
All right. So in relation to special constable, you do need a GCSE in maths and English. In terms of entry requirements, there's a vetting process, there is an interview, assessments and so on. But once you've passed those and you have an initial offer and you then go operational, there's 18 weeks of training, which is classroom-based, around the legal responsibilities of a police officer, during which time you are sworn in and you receive your warrant card. After which time, I think there's now 2 exams. There's an exam after maybe week 8 and then at the end. And then you go operational. Once you go operational as a special constable and you join a shift, the role is exactly the same as that of a PC. You will be on the same shift, going to the same jobs, wearing the same uniform, doing exactly the same work, other than you will be doing it in your own time. So my colleagues to my left and right might be doing 12-hour shifts, of which you can join a 12-hour shift, or you can do 6 hours of that, or 4 hours of that, or 10 hours of that. But there's a minimum of 16 hours a month, 200 hours a year. That's a minimum time requirement, and I think there's 4 mandatory training sessions as well throughout that year, one of which will be your officer safety training, which is a 2-day training throughout the year. So I think if we start to maybe walk around and answer some questions, that might be easier, so you can start our one-to-one conversations with us. So please don't feel shy, come and have a conversation, and let's have a chat about how we can hopefully get you on that journey. Thank you.
That's fine. I think we'll just break it. Yeah. Okay, that's great. We'll just join one at a time. Okay. Yeah, we'll just get our officers will be coming round to speak to yourselves into smaller groups, and I think I'll just make it easier to ask any questions, and they can sort of speak to you face to face if that's okay.